one of the things written out in the Declaration of Independence is that there should be no taxation without representation. And that's exactly what we've got now. Pelosi will not listen to her constituents. San Franciscans don't want war in Iraq. They don't want to continue funding the war in Iraq. They do not. They have voted in 2006 to impeach Bush and Cheney. That was Proposition J, which passed by about 60%. And Nancy Pelosi, what's the next thing she did? She said impeachment is off the table. Well, I say we take taxation without representation off the table. Let's take this war off the table. Let's take these war criminals off the table. And let's take this bailout off the table. It's time to get some real candidates in there. It's time to take our country back and go back to the times where we were a free land, the land of the free and the home of the brave, instead of the land of the wage slave and the home of the lemming. Everybody, it starts with you. It's time for us to get mad. We've got to understand these guys are robbing us. I mean, this is robbery. It's extortion. You know, they're saying, you know, give us your money or you lose your bank account. You don't get any more credit. You know, it's time for us to take this country back. Everybody, it starts with you. No taxation without representation.
The working people of this country are not buying that the sky is going to fall on our heads if the rich don't get bailed out. That less than 7% of the people polled are for the bailout. And what it shows is people are saying, you say we're going to lose our jobs? You say we won't have credit for cars and houses? Well, that's happening now. So go ahead and fail, because we're already losing with this bailout proposition. And that's the start of people breaking through the illusion that the rich are working on our behalf. They're cutting our throats every day that we let them get by. Both Democrat and Republicans have voted for every war budget placed before them, unanimously, including the one in June that provided $168 billion so that they wouldn't have to talk about war funding during the election campaign. And in that same $168 billion appropriation, they gave $2 billion for the tens of thousands of families that suffered and lost their homes and belongings in the floods of the Mississippi River. And Katrina, the people of Katrina have never had their situation resolved. And the people of Hurricane Rita and Gustav and Ike. So before those banks get bailed out, the people must come first, which means that the banks can be dead last. And that means we're for no bailout, bring the troops home from all over the world, shut down the 700 bases in the world, and bring those troops home to help rebuild this country and also help rebuild countries that the U.S. has destroyed. Vote Cindy Sheehan, vote the alternative candidates in California for president. Cynthia McKinney is running, Ralph Nader is running, and I'm running in 12 states outside. And in the southern district of Tom Lantis' former seat, Natalie Creasy is running for Congress on the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Together, sisters and brothers, no matter who wins, we're going to have to keep on fighting. Come to the protest October 19th and 20th. What a perfect demonstration has been set out for us. The bankers are coming to San Francisco. We will shut them down.
$700 million. It's only your tax money. Come on. It's a steal. It's a real steal. $700 billion.
4 of the Chronicle today, Associated Press reports that the Congress just approved a $612 billion budget for next year for the Pentagon. In there, that includes about $70 billion for Iraq and Afghanistan, sort of a down payment on the wars for next year, to go along with $161 billion that they voted last June for those wars. So the upshot is the $460 billion that is for the Pentagon in this year's budget, that amount is going to be $532 for next year. So we're going to give a $72 billion increase to the Pentagon. We're going to bail out the financial industry to the tune of $700 billion. And, you know, when it comes time to feed elderly people, 2 days ago there was an article about how all these seniors are having their food programs cut because we don't have money to feed them. It's the definition of insanity. My name is Barry Hermanson. I'm a Green Party candidate for Congress. Barry Hermanson.
Thank you.
I'm Mary Ann Thomas with World Can't Wait, Drive Out the Bush Regime. We're here today in front of the Federal Reserve of San Francisco to demand changes to this $700 billion bailout, which is a ripoff of the American people. It is the bankers stealing from the American people by lying and cheating about our economic situation. They basically got us into this bubble which burst, which they intentionally created, and now they are creating a situation where supposedly we need to bail out these banks and financial institutions without any criteria whatsoever. So we're just going to give them $700 billion to do with as they wish. And that is totally unconscionable. They won't help the Main Street people with their mortgages. $700 billion helping people with their mortgages would have solved this whole problem. But that was not their original intent. Their original intent was to cause people to go into foreclosure so they can grab the houses for little money, and then also to do this bailout and to basically drain the American reserves, which we don't have anymore, basically putting the American people further and further into debt. This is an unconscionable thing that they are doing. Pelosi and the Democrats are a part of the problem. They are not demanding solutions. They are just trying to tweak at the corners and are not making any major changes whatsoever to legislation. They are a total cop-out. We need to get our country back. We need to get into the streets and demand change. Thank you.